Cruising is expensive, and if you're on a budget, finding a cheap cruise can be a challenge for you. There's one thing you always have to be when you are looking for an affordable cruise, and that is flexible. Hi y'all, I'm Tiffany with TP's Travels. If you're new here, welcome. I'm going to break down and share with you some ideas of ways that you can find a cheap and affordable cruise. Now, I did say you need to be flexible. Now, flexible means you need to be flexible with the cruise line, cruise ship, time of year, and the port that you are going out of as well. Now, I know this is not always possible for some people, especially if you have kids and you can only cruise during the summertime. There's also two seasons that you need to be aware of when you're looking for cruises. That's wave season and shoulder season. Now, shoulder season is going to be before and after the peak season of cruising, which is going to be April and May, and then September and October. So typically cruises are going to cost more around when schools are out and the holiday times. Wave season is from the beginning of January to the end of March. This is when the majority of cruises are booked, and travel agents are booking a lot more of their cruises at this point in time. So you're going to see a lot more offers and discounts and special rates when you are looking between January and the end of March for any of your cruises, and you might be able to score a really good deal in that time if you're booking in the shoulder month. So when I asked, many of you said that your concern when you look for your cruises is price, which is good. So we're going to be flexible on everything else. We're going to look for the cheapest bottom of the line cruise cabin, and we're going to see what is our cheapest price that we can get for a cruise. Now, there's also one surefire way that I use all the time to make sure that you can get some special rates and cruising deals and offers, and I'm going to share that with you here in just a little bit. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to look at a few different websites. We're going to go to cheapcruises.com, Vacations to Go, and Expedia. But you have also mentioned that your main itinerary that you want to go to is the Caribbean. That's a very popular place, and also Alaska is a bucket list. So we're going to look at both of these and see what we can find. Which one of these do you think are going to be the cheapest? Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, MSC, Celebrity, or Princess. These are going to be the cruise lines that are going to pop up while we are looking for our cheap and affordable cruises. Now, another tip that I know you always hear is book in advance, book as far out as you can. And then sometimes there's a little bit of contradicting advice there because sometimes you're also told to book at last minute. So let's take a look. So on cheapcruises.com, we have Radiance of the Seas was our cheapest cruise at $417 per person and $586 per person if we move it to 1 month earlier. Expedia gave us Norwegian Jade as the cheapest cruise line and as the cheapest cruise ship, and $825 per person if we go in September, $925. We have another $100 if we go a month earlier. And then Vacations to Go, Celebrity Summit was our cheapest one at $533 per person, $464. We actually save money if we go a month earlier. So I was a little shocked by that one. And I want you to also know that all of these are going to be the cheapest room possible on board. We're looking at interior rooms, and many of these are also going to be interior guarantee rooms. What is a guarantee cabin? A guarantee cabin is you're going to be guaranteed to have that interior room, but the cruise line is going to choose where it's going to be. You don't get to choose. And oftentimes you're not going to get to know where it is going to be until a few days before you're sailing. And then sometimes you may not even know until the day of your sailing. So all these rooms that we're looking at right now are double occupancy, 2 people. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go over into Royal Caribbean, since cheapercruises.com was our cheapest place to go to. And we're going to look at Royal Caribbean and kind of cross compare and see what we can find. So on Royal Caribbean, we see that they have a 7-night Alaskan cruise on the Anthem of the Seas, and it is for $557 per person at $1,700. Yeah, that one's going to be a little bit more expensive. Cheaper Cruises is still winning here. Now let's go 1 month earlier. 1 month earlier, we're still on a 7-night Alaskan cruise. Now we're on the Radiance of the Seas at $464 a person. So as we see, cheapcruises.com won out on that round. Definitely keep in mind, some of them are not including taxes, and none of these are including gratuities. So when I told you the $1,700 for Radiance of the Seas by Royal Caribbean, it is not including gratuities. It is including your cruise fare, your taxes, and port fees. So gratuities will be added on towards the end, usually when you are booking. All right, so let's go to the Caribbean. We're gonna look at the Caribbean for September 2025 and August 2025. CheapCruises.com has MSC Shore as the cheapest one at $619 per person. And then August, 1 month earlier, it's actually Mariner of the Seas, not MSC Shore anymore, at $362 per person. Expedia also has Mariner of the Seas at $421 per person, and then $463. We're going to pay a little bit more if we go a month earlier. Vacations to Go, also $421 on the Mariner of the Seas. So they're coming in right here at the same one, Expedia and Vacations to Go. So Mariner of the Seas is clearly winning as one of our cheaper cruises to go on in the Caribbean. So let's go over to Royal Caribbean and take a look at what Royal Caribbean can offer. And in September of 2025, it's going to be $312, and with taxes and cruise fare, all of that, no gratuities, you're going to look at paying $842 after you pay your balance. $842 here is what you're looking at paying. And then if we go 1 month earlier, your total cruise fare and taxes are going to end up being $943, not including your gratuities. So actually, Expedia, Vacations to Go, and Royal Caribbean all offered right there around that same price. At that really right there, sometimes it just depends on who's offering better package deals, because sometimes Royal Caribbean could offer a package deal on Wi-Fi that could be cheaper if you book it at the same time that you're booking your cruise. And also look for different special rates that will pop up. I had several questions that would ask me when I was trying to look at when I was trying to book any of the cruises. Are you 55 and older? Are you military? Are you a Florida resident? They will have different questions that will come up there so that you can put those in, and it will give you a little bit of extra percentage off. All right, so now we want to go to, is it better to book it last minute? So let's head over to Alaska and see what we can find in August of 2025. So cheapcruises.com Celebrity Summit is the cheapest one at $463 per person. Expedia has Princess Sapphire at $668 a person. And then Vacations to Go also has Celebrity Summit at $380 per person. So Vacations to Go definitely won on Celebrity Summit at $380 per person. And when I went over to Celebrity Summit's website, they were offering the same cruise, 7-night Alaskan cruise, but at $414 per person. So Vacations to Go won out on that round. All right, now for the Caribbean in August of 2024, we are here at cheapcruises.com, Carnival Paradise at $449 a person. Also Carnival Paradise on Expedia at $449 a person. And then Vacations to Go won out again with Independence of the Seas at $369 per person. So Cheap Cruises is actually going to be our most expensive one here. Carnival actually kind of surprised me. I was a little shocked here. I thought that they would have come in at the cheaper one. I was a little shocked that it was Independence of the Seas with Royal Caribbean. So let's go over to Royal Caribbean and see what they have to offer. So they offer it at $232 per person, which adding in taxes and your cruise fare, your port fees, all of that, $701. Royal Caribbean definitely won out on Independence of the Seas for 1 month from now, or just over a month from now, in August of 2024. Now, like I said, I was a little shocked that Carnival didn't win out on that particular one. Carnival's known to be the cheap, affordable cruise line to go on. So I just wanted to kind of check it out anyway. So we went over to Carnival's website, and they are offering the cheapest cruise I could find was a 5-night Caribbean cruise on the Carnival Sunrise. And it was $369 per person. If you see here, my total is $1,100. Wow. So I have definitely seen some Carnival cruise offers where it's only $100, and then put in the taxes, you're paying close to $300 when you have 2 people. Did you realize what all of these cruise ships had in common? All of these cruise ships that we came across were older and smaller cruise ships. The youngest one was actually MSC Seashore. That is another tip when you are looking for cheaper cruises. Typically, you're going to find better deals on the older and smaller cruise ships. Now, Mariner of the Seas came up several times, and I've been on that particular one, and I've noticed that Royal Caribbean has some really great older ships. So don't let that throw you off if you are finding an older ship to go on. But what does it cost if we go on a brand new ship at last minute? And if Royal Caribbean has won out on finding a last minute Caribbean cruise, I'm just curious. What would a last-minute Caribbean cruise on the Utopia of the Seas cost? Well, it's going to cost you $601 in August of 2024, looking at $1,400 for both of you. You could book 2 of these if you went on the Independence of the Seas in August instead. Now, what is one surefire way that you can make sure that you can find some cruise deals and some special rates? Well, that's signing up to their emails. Signing up to the emails on the cruise line and even on some of these other websites like cheapcruises.com. If you sign up for the emails, it could take out a lot of that extra work for you because it's already going to say, hey, we have some extra rooms here. These are going to be cheaper. We're running a special rate. So then you know exactly where to go when you are doing your price comparison. So always make sure you're signing up for the emails. They will spam you. Like I said, the number one thing is to be flexible, but really it's also persistence. You need to always be checking your emails, checking other websites. Now you can go through a travel agent. They can do this for you. They can help you out there. They might have some group rates they can get you in on. But for me, I guess I kind of like the control of it. I like to look at all the different websites and see what is out there and constantly check the cruise lines themselves. And I've been able to find some really good deals just by doing that, and definitely by staying on the cruise line's emails. Now, here's the problem. Once you have found your perfect cruise, you really like what you found and you're ready to book it, you think you're done with what you have to pay. And there could be some other costs that could incur on your cruise. So if you want to hear a little bit more about what kind of costs could incur and some pre-cruising tips, then definitely check out this video here. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.